When I tell you that your wish is coming true, I am not making a prediction based on probability or wishful thinking. I am stating a principle that is as exact as mathematics. The law of assumption, which governs all of creation, ensures that what you assume to be true, what you feel to be real, with the intensity of faith, must objectify itself in your world. It must become your reality. Think about why you are witnessing these words right now. Is it truly by accident? There are no accidents in a universe governed by law. You are here because something within you has been seeking confirmation, seeking the knowledge or the reminder that what you have been desiring is on its way to you. And I say to you with absolute certainty, it is. Many of you have been dwelling in states of lack or limitation. You have been telling yourself stories about why you cannot have what you desire, what circumstances are against you, why others are more blessed than you are. But I tell you now, these are merely assumptions you have accepted as truth. They have no power over you except the power you continue to give them through your attention and belief. Your consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you become. If you persist in the feeling that your wish is already fulfilled, if you sleep in the assumption of its reality, nothing in this world can prevent its manifestation. This is the law by which all things come into being. Consider for a moment, have you been faithful to your desire? Have you been dwelling in the end, feeling the reality of your wish fulfilled? Or have you been vacillating between faith and doubt, between the consciousness of having and the consciousness of wanting? Remember, the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret of creation. It is not about trying to make something happen through physical effort or struggle. It is about assuming the feeling of already having what you desire. The outer world is merely a reflection, a shadow of your inner assumptions. Change the assumption, and you change the reflection. It is that simple, though I know many find this difficult to accept, because they have been conditioned to believe that reality is something fixed and external to themselves. It is not. Reality is fluid and responsive to your consciousness. Let me tell you a story that illustrates this principle. Many years ago, a young woman came to one of my lectures. She was desperate to be married, but she had convinced herself that there were no eligible men in her life, and that at her age, her chances were diminishing daily. She was dwelling in a state of lack and longing, focusing on the absence of what she desired rather than its presence. I instructed her to create a simple scene that would imply her wish was already fulfilled. She decided that if she were married, she would wear a wedding band on her finger, and at night when she removed her jewelry, she would place that ring in a specific spot on her dresser. So every night before sleep, she enacted this scene in her imagination. She felt the ring between her fingers, felt herself placing it on the dresser, and most importantly, she captured the feeling of being happily married. Within a month, she met a man at a gathering she had initially not wanted to attend. Their connection was immediate and profound. 6 months later, they were married, and yes, every night, she now removes her wedding band and places it exactly where she had imagined. Her outer world rearranged itself to match her inner assumption. This is not coincidence or luck. This is law. The law that states consciousness is the one and only reality, and what you are conscious of being, you become. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I've been trying to manifest my desire for so long, and nothing has happened. To this I say, you have not been dwelling in the end. You have been dwelling in the process, in the state of wanting and trying rather than in the state of having and being. Your wish can only come true when you live from the assumption that it already has. Remember, imagination creates reality. Your imaginal acts are facts. They are realities. They are already fully present in your consciousness, though they may not yet be visible to your mortal eye. But they will be. For everything in this world began as an imaginal act before it materialized into the visible. Let us explore this deeper. The Bible, which is not a historical document, but a psychological drama, tells us in countless ways that we are the operant power in our lives. Whatsoever things ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. This is not a promise of future fulfillment. It is a present tense instruction. Believe that you receive now, and manifestation must follow. When you truly understand this, you realize that there is nothing to wait for, nothing to wish for. There is only the acceptance of what already is in consciousness. Your desire is already fulfilled in the imagination, which is the reality of all things. Your task is not to make it happen, but to appropriate it through the feeling of its reality. I urge you now to take a moment and reflect on what you truly desire. Not what you think is possible based on your current circumstances, but what you would love to be, do, or have if you knew you could not fail. Hold that desire in your consciousness now. Feel its reality. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the sense of completion that comes with its fulfillment. Can you feel it? Can you taste it? Can you accept that in the realm of imagination, where all creation begins, it is already done? This is the faith that moves mountains. Not faith in some external power to it for you, but faith in the reality of your own imaginal acts. The world you see is a picture of your own consciousness made visible. If you don't like what you see, change your consciousness and the picture will change accordingly. There is no other way to effect permanent change in your life. All attempts to change the outer without first changing the inner are temporary at best and often result in the same patterns recurring in different forms. Consider this: you are not a body with a consciousness. You are consciousness itself, temporarily expressing through a body. Your true identity is the observer, the awareness in which all experiences arise. This awareness, this I am, is God himself. I and my Father are one, as the scripture says. When you say I am, you are invoking the name of God, for that is his name forever. Whatever you attach to I am becomes your reality. I am sick creates the experience of sickness. I am wealthy creates the experience of wealth. I am loved creates the experience of being loved. Watch your I am statements carefully, for they are the most powerful creative declarations you can make. Now let us return to the title of this message. This video appeared because your wish is coming true. Do you see the profound truth in this statement? This video, this message, is part of the bridge of incidents leading to the fulfillment of your desire. It has appeared in your experience now, because you are ready to receive the final pieces of understanding that will allow your manifestation to complete itself. Everything in your experience is there by your invitation through your consciousness. Nothing comes uninvited. If this message resonates with you, it is because you have called it forth from the depths of your being. Your wish has set in motion the forces that will bring about its fulfillment. And this is one of the steps on that journey. Let me share another principle that is critical to understand. Time in the physical world is not what determines when your desire will manifest. It is the intensity and consistency of your feeling, your assumption, that determines the timing. What you believe to be true with absolute conviction, while feeling the emotion of its reality, manifests with a speed proportional to the intensity of that feeling. Many of you have desires that you've been holding for years, wondering why they haven't manifested. The answer is simple. You have not yet fully convinced yourself of their reality. You still see them as something to be attained in the future, rather than something that is already yours in the present. The moment you truly believe with every fiber of your being that your wish is fulfilled, in that moment it is done, and nothing can prevent its expression in the outer world. This is why people who have had profound spiritual experiences, moments of complete faith and knowing, often report miraculous manifestations. There is nothing miraculous about it. It is simply the law functioning as it always does, but with an intensity of belief that accelerates the manifestation process. So how do you cultivate this level of faith? Through persistent imagination, through the daily practice of dwelling in the end, of living from the assumption that what you desire is already yours. This is not pretending or self-deception. This is understanding the true nature of reality and working with it rather than against it. Your physical senses tell you what is. Your imagination tells you what can be. And what can be already is in the only place where reality truly exists, in consciousness. Let me emphasize something important here. Many spiritual teachings advise you to detach from your desires, to release your attachment to outcomes. While there is wisdom in this, it is often misunderstood. True detachment comes not from giving up your desire, but from knowing it is already yours in consciousness. When you know something is yours, you are no longer anxious about getting it. You are relaxed in the knowledge of possession. This is the state you must cultivate, the calm, confident knowing that what you have imagined is already a fact in consciousness and must by law materialize in your experience. This is not attachment in the needy sense. It is appropriation in the spiritual sense. Consider how you feel about something you already have and take for granted, like the ability to breathe or the beating of your heart. You don't worry about these things because you know they are already yours. Bring this same knowing to your desires and watch how quickly they manifest. I want to share with you another powerful technique for impressing your subconscious mind with the reality of your desire. It is the technique of revision, which allows you to rewrite your past and in doing so, change your future. If you have had experiences that contradict your desire, experiences of failure or disappointment, do not allow them to define your expectation of the future. Instead, revise them. Before you sleep each night, replay the events of the day in your imagination, but change them to align with your desired outcome. See yourself succeeding where you failed, receiving what you were denied, being recognized where you were overlooked. This is not denial of reality. It is the recognition that what we call reality is fluid and responsive to consciousness. By revising the past in imagination, you are actually changing the patterns of thought and expectation that create your future experiences. You are breaking the cycle of repetition that keeps you bound to unwanted circumstances. Remember, your subconscious mind does not distinguish between an actual physical event and one that is vividly imagined. To your subconscious, both are equally real. Use this to your advantage by consciously creating memories of experiences that align with your desires. I have tested this principle countless times in my own life and in the lives of those who have applied my teachings. It works with mathematical precision when properly understood and applied. Your imagination, directed consciously and with feeling, is the tool by which you shape your reality. Now, let us address another common misconception. Many believe that their desires must come through specific channels or in specific ways. They try to dictate not only what they want, but how it should come to them. This is a limitation that often delays manifestation. When you place your order with the universe through your imagination, allow the infinite intelligence of life to determine the how and the when. Your job is to dwell in the end, to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The means by which it will come to pass are often far more ingenious and perfect than anything your limited conscious mind could devise. This doesn't mean you shouldn't take inspired action when it presents itself, but such action should come from a place of knowing that what you desire is already yours, not from a place of trying to make it happen through force or struggle. Think of it this way. When you order a package online, you don't concern yourself with the specific route the delivery truck will take to bring it to you. You trust that it will arrive. Apply this same trust to the manifestation of your desires. Know that once you have placed your order through the feeling of the wish fulfilled, it must come to you by the bridge of incidents best suited to its expression. Another vital aspect of successful manifestation is persistence. Neville Goddard spoke often of the importance of persisting in your assumption until it hardens into fact. One imaginal act, no matter how vivid, is rarely enough to completely transform a deeply entrenched belief system. You must return to your imaginal scene repeatedly, dwelling in it with the same joy and conviction each time, until it feels more real to you than the evidence of your senses. This is not about quantity of time, but quality of feeling. 10 minutes of fully absorbed, emotionally charged imagination is worth more than hours of half-hearted visualization. Make your imaginal scene so vivid, so emotionally compelling, that you temporarily forget your current reality. This is the kind of imagination that changes your world. Let me tell you about a man who came to me years ago. He was in a position he hated, working for a boss who undervalued him, earning far less than his talents deserved. He had been trying to manifest a new position for months with no success. When I asked him about his approach, he told me he had been visualizing receiving a job offer. I explained to him that this was still dwelling in the process, not in the end. The end would be actually working in the new position, enjoying it, receiving the higher salary. I instructed him to create a scene that implied this was already his reality. He decided to imagine a conversation with a friend in which he was sharing how much he loved his new role and how appreciated he felt. He imagined this friend congratulating him on his significant increase in income. He performed this imaginal act every night before sleep. And within 3 weeks, he was offered a position that far exceeded his expectations. The interesting part was that this opportunity came through a channel he never would have anticipated, from a connection he had made years earlier and had almost forgotten. This illustrates the wisdom of focusing on the what, not the how. Your desire knows its own way into expression. Trust the process and keep your attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Now I want to address a question that many of you may have. What about desires that seem impossible given my current circumstances? Perhaps you desire a relationship, but there is no romantic prospect in sight. Perhaps you desire financial abundance, but your debts are mounting and your income is limited. Perhaps you desire perfect health, but you have received a troubling diagnosis. To this I say circumstances do not matter. Only state of consciousness matters. Your current circumstances are merely the fruit of past assumptions. They have no power to determine your future unless you continue to give them that power through your attention and belief. In the realm of imagination, there are no limitations. All things are possible to him who believes. Your task is not to figure out how to overcome your circumstances, but to so completely immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled that your circumstances have no choice but to conform to your new assumption. This requires a certain death of the old self, the self that is identified with limitation and lack. You must be willing to let that self die so that your new concept of self aligned with your desire can be born. This is the true meaning of rebirth. It is not a physical death, but a psychological one, a radical shift in consciousness from identifying with what is to identifying with what you choose to be. The scripture tells us, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Your old concept of self must die for your new concept to bear fruit in your experience. This death is not to be feared, but embraced, for it leads to a resurrection into a higher, more expanded state of being. As we continue to explore the profound truth that your wish is coming true, let us consider the role of feeling in manifestation. Feeling is the secret of successful manifestation. It is not enough to intellectually affirm that your desire is fulfilled or to create mental pictures without emotion. You must feel the reality of your desire with such intensity that emotionally you are living from its fulfillment now. This feeling is what impresses the subconscious mind, which is the creative power within you. The subconscious accepts as true what the conscious mind feels to be true, and then proceeds to bring about circumstances and events that align with that truth. How do you cultivate this feeling? By entering fully into your imaginal scene, by making it so vivid and real that it temporarily displaces your awareness of present circumstances. You must see what you would see, hear what you would hear, feel what you would feel, if your desire were already a physical fact. Many people attempt to manifest from a place of desperation or urgent need. This is counterproductive because the feeling of desperation contradicts the feeling of fulfillment. You cannot feel unfulfilled and fulfilled at the same time. Choose carefully which feeling you will entertain, for that is the feeling that will determine your experience. I often recommend that before you enter your imaginal scene, you first relax your body and quiet your mind. A relaxed state makes your subconscious more receptive to new impressions. Take several deep breaths, release all tension, and then proceed to construct your scene. In this receptive state, your imaginal experience will make a deeper impression on your subconscious mind. Another powerful approach is to capture the feeling of your wish fulfilled just as you are falling asleep. The moments between wakefulness and sleep are particularly potent for impressing the subconscious. If you can fall asleep feeling that your desire is already fulfilled, you give your subconscious mind hours to work uninterrupted on bringing that assumption into physical expression while you sleep. Remember, your subconscious mind is active 24 hours a day. It never rests. By giving it the impression of your fulfilled desire before sleep, you allow it to work throughout the night on rearranging the substance of your world to match your assumption. Let me share a personal experience that demonstrates this principle. Many years ago, I desired to speak to large audiences about these principles. At the time, I was speaking to very small groups, often just a handful of people. But I knew that what I am sharing with you now needed to reach thousands. Each night before sleep, I would imagine standing before a vast audience. I would feel the excitement in the room, hear the applause, and feel the satisfaction of knowing that these transformative ideas were reaching so many. I persisted in this assumption night after night, even though my physical circumstances showed no immediate sign of change. Within a year, I was invited to speak at venues I never could have accessed through my own efforts or connections. The audiences grew from dozens to hundreds to thousands. The bridge of incidents that led to this manifestation was so perfect, so natural, that had I not understood the law, I might have called it mere good fortune. But I knew it was the direct result of my persistent assumption. This principle applies to every area of life without exception. There is nothing you cannot be, do, or have when you understand and apply the law of assumption. Health, wealth, love, creative expression, spiritual growth, all are responsive to this one principle. Now, there is another aspect of successful manifestation that we must address. It is the principle of naturalness. For your manifestation to appear in your physical reality, your assumption must feel natural to you. It must not feel like a strain or a far-fetched fantasy, but like the most natural thing in the world. This is why I often recommend starting with desires that stretch you but do not completely shatter your sense of what is possible for you. As you succeed with these initial manifestations, your faith in the law grows, and you can gradually take on assumptions that once seemed impossible. Remember, the feeling of naturalness comes with repetition. As you persist in your assumption, returning to it night after night, it begins to feel more and more normal. What seemed audacious at first gradually becomes acceptable, then probable, then certain. This is the hardening of an assumption into fact. I have often been asked, how long must I persist in my assumption before it manifests? The answer varies with each individual and each desire. Some assumptions manifest almost instantly, while others require more persistent effort. The determining factors are the naturalness of the assumption to you and the degree to which it contradicts your existing beliefs. A desire that aligns closely with your current self-concept will manifest more quickly than one that requires a dramatic shift in identity. This is not because one is more difficult for the law to accomplish. All things are equally possible to the law, but because your own consciousness may offer more resistance to assumptions that feel foreign to your established self-concept. This is why self-concept is so crucial in a manifestation. Your self-concept is the sum total of all your beliefs about yourself. It is the answer you give to the question, who am I? Your manifestations will always be consistent with this self-concept, for you cannot manifest your level of consciousness. If you desire wealth but identify as someone who struggles financially, you must first change the identity. You must begin to think from the assumption, I am wealthy, rather than thinking of wealth as something to attain. As your self-concept shifts, your manifestations will shift accordingly. The same applies to relationships, health, professional success, and every other area of life. Your experience will always reflect your self-concept. Change the concept, and you change the experience. This is the law. Now let me address a common concern. Many of you have desires that involve specific other people, a romantic relationship with a particular person, recognition from a specific authority figure, reconciliation with someone from whom you're estranged. You wonder if it is possible to manifest outcomes that require the participation of others who have their own free will. To this I say there is no one else. There is only God, only consciousness expressing itself in seemingly separate forms. The people in your life are reflections of states within your own consciousness. Change your consciousness, and they change in your experience. This does not mean they have no free will. It means that in your experience, they express the aspects of themselves that align with your consciousness. If you assume that someone loves you, appreciates you, supports you, that is what you will experience from them, because that is the state you have activated in your consciousness. Many have tested this principle and found it to be unfailingly accurate. Relationships that seemed beyond repair have been restored. People who seemed cold and distant have become warm and loving. Adversaries have become allies, all through a shift in consciousness on the part of one individual. Remember, you are not manipulating others when you assume a new state regarding them. You are simply exercising your God-given power to experience life from the state of your choosing. Everyone remains free to express according to their own consciousness, but in your world they will express in accordance with your assumptions about them. This understanding liberates you from dependence on the attitudes and behaviors of others. You no longer need to change them. You need only change your assumption about them. As you do, you will find that they change in your experience, often in ways that surprise and delight you. Let me share a story that illustrates this principle. A woman came to me in distress over her marriage. Her husband had become cold and distant, often staying out late without explanation. She feared he was involved with someone else and was contemplating leaving her. She had tried everything to reconnect with him, romantic gestures, confrontations, pleading, all to no avail. I instructed her to revise her perception of the situation. Rather than seeing him as distant and possibly unfaithful, she was to assume that he was deeply in love with her, devoted to their marriage, and finding her irresistibly attractive. Each night before sleep, she would imagine him expressing his love and commitment to her. She would feel the joy and security of being cherished by him. Initially, she found this difficult because it contradicted her current experience so dramatically, but she persisted. And within 2 weeks, she noticed subtle changes in his behavior. He began to come home earlier. He became more communicative. Then one evening, he brought her flowers and suggested they plan a second honeymoon. Within a month, their marriage had transformed completely. Was this a coincidence? No. It was the law in operation. She had changed her assumption, and her outer world reshaped itself to match that assumption. Her husband had always had the capacity to be loving and devoted. She simply activated that state in her consciousness, and it was reflected back to her in his behavior. This principle applies not just to personal relationships, but to all human interactions. In business, in community, in every area of life where you engage with, they will reflect back to you your assumptions about them and about yourself in relation to them. If you assume that people are hostile, competitive, or judgmental, that is what you will experience from them. If you assume they are kind, cooperative, and appreciative, that is what you will experience. The choice is always yours, and it is made not through your words or actions, but through your assumptions. As we continue to explore the fulfillment of your desire, let us consider the role of gratitude in manifestation. Gratitude is not merely a virtuous attitude, it is a powerful creative force. When you express gratitude for something, you affirm its presence in your life. You acknowledge it as real and present, not as something hopeful in the future. Many people withhold gratitude until after their desire has manifested physically. This is backwards. Gratitude is most powerful when it precedes manifestation, when it is offered for what exists in consciousness, but not yet in physical form. Begin now to give thanks for the fulfillment of your desire. Feel the gratitude you would feel if it were already an accomplished fact in your physical experience. This gratitude offered before the physical evidence appears is the highest form of faith. It says, I know it is done, and I am thankful. This attitude of thankfulness accelerates manifestation because it aligns you vibrationally with the reality of your desire. It closes the gap between your current state and your desired state by creating an emotional bridge of appreciation. Consider this: when you want something and don't have it, the predominant vibration you offer is one of lack or absence. This perpetuates the experience of not having. But when you are grateful for something, the predominant vibration is one of having, of possession. This attracts more experiences that match that feeling of having. So begin today to express genuine gratitude for the fulfillment of your desire, even before you see it with your physical eyes. Thank the God within you, your own wonderful human imagination, for having already granted your wish. Feel the relief, the joy, the sense of completion that comes with knowing it is done. This practice alone can transform your manifestation process, bringing your desires into physical form with a speed and ease that may astonish you. Gratitude is the attitude that accelerates manifestation. Now, as we near the conclusion of this message, I want to emphasize a truth that may be the most liberating of all. You are not bound by your past. Your future is not determined by what has gone before. It is determined solely by your present assumptions. Many of you have had experiences of disappointment, failure, or loss. You may believe that these experiences predict your future, that they establish patterns that will continue to repeat. This is not true. Your past has no power over your future except the power you give it through your belief in it. Every moment is a fresh opportunity to assume a new state. Every night when you sleep, you have the chance to die to your old self and be reborn to your ideal. This rebirth is not a physical event, but a psychological one, a shift in consciousness from what has been to what you choose to be. Remember the words of Scripture, "Behold, I make all things new." This is not a promise for some distant future. It is a statement of an eternal truth. The creative power within you, your own wonderful human imagination, is always making all things new. It is not bound by the past or limited by physical circumstances. It is free to create anew in every moment. Your only task is to direct this creative power through your conscious assumption of the state you desire to experience. As you assume that state, feeling its reality, your outer world must reshape itself to match your inner knowing. This is the promise and the power of the law. What you assume, you become. What you feel as true must objectify itself in your physical experience. This is not a matter of hope or possibility. It is a matter of law. As you apply this law consciously, you will discover that you are indeed the operant power in your life. You are not a victim of circumstances, but the creator of them. Your consciousness is the one and only reality, and everything in your experience is a reflection of that consciousness. I tell you again with absolute conviction, this video appeared because your wish is coming true. It came into your experience at this precise moment, because you are ready to receive the understanding that will allow your desire to manifest completely in your physical world. The fact that you are hearing these words now is evidence that your consciousness has shifted to a place of readiness. Your own wonderful human imagination has orchestrated this moment as part of the bridge of incidents leading to the fulfillment of your desire. Trust this process. Know that what has begun in consciousness must complete itself in experience. The seed of your desire, planted in the fertile soil of your imagination and watered with the feeling of its reality, must grow into manifestation. This is law. As we conclude, I urge you to take this message into the silence of your own being. Reflect on the desire that is most dear to your heart. See it as already fulfilled. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of completion that comes with its fulfillment. Give thanks for it as an accomplished fact. Then release it into the law, knowing that what you have felt as real in consciousness must objectify itself in your world. Go about your days from the calm certainty that it is done. Let go of anxiety, striving, and doubt. They have no place in the consciousness of one who knows the law and lives by it. Your desire is now in the hands of a power far greater than your conscious mind, the power of your own subconscious, which is God Himself operating within you. This power knows how to bring your desire into manifestation through the perfect bridge of incidents. Trust it completely. Remember always, your consciousness is the one and only reality. What you are conscious of being, you become. Your world is a picture of your consciousness made visible. As your consciousness changes, your world must change to reflect it. Live from the assumption that your wish is fulfilled. Persist in that assumption until it hardens into fact. And watch as the circumstances of your life rearrange themselves to match your new consciousness. This is the promise and the power of the law. This video has appeared because your wish is coming true. Accept this truth, live from it. and prepare to witness the miraculous unfolding of your desire in the world of form. For the law never fails, and you, through your conscious use of it, are the master of your destiny. Believe in the reality of your desire now. Feel its fulfillment as a present fact. Give thanks for its expression, and know beyond all doubt that it is done. Your wish is accomplished. Your desire is fulfilled. Your prayer is answered. It is finished. The law has been set in motion by your assumption, and nothing in this world can prevent its expression. What you have felt as real in the realm of imagination, which is the reality of all things, must make its appearance in your physical world. This is the eternal promise of the law. Go now in the peace and confidence of one who knows that creation is finished, that all exists now in consciousness, and that your experience is simply revealing what you have accepted as true. Live from your ideal as an accomplished fact, and watch the miracles unfold in your life. For I tell you again with absolute certainty this video because your wish is coming true. The desire of your heart is on its way to you now, traveling across the bridge of incidents that leads inevitably from its conception in imagination to its birth in experience. Trust the process, love the law, and live in the joyous expectation of good, knowing that what you have assumed must manifest. This is the law and the promise. This is the truth that sets you free.
There comes a moment, a divine stirring, when life as you know it is about to shift. Not just a minor change, not a passing breeze, but a great and irreversible transformation. And if you listen closely, if you still the mind and open the heart, you will see the signs before it happens. These signs are not coincidences, nor are they accidents of fate. They are the whispers of God, the unseen hand rearranging your world, preparing you for what is to come. The first great sign is an unsettling, a divine discontent. That which once brought you joy may now feel empty. You may sense a restlessness, as if the walls of your life are closing in, no longer containing the vastness of who you are meant to be. This is not a time to despair, it is a time to rejoice. For when the soul outgrows its current reality, God is calling it into a new one. What seems like discomfort is the gentle breaking of chains. The second sign appears as a crumbling, the dissolution of what once seemed stable. Perhaps relationships shift, opportunities fade, familiar paths become impassable, the very ground beneath your feet may tremble, and you may wonder if you are losing everything, but I tell you, nothing real is ever lost. What is leaving is only that which no longer serves the life God is bringing forth in you. Do not resist. Do not grasp at what is falling away. Trust, for a greater design is unfolding, one that you could not yet see with the eyes of the past. And then there is the third and most powerful sign, the sudden influx of vision, desire, and inner knowing. When God is about to change your life forever, a new dream begins to stir within you. It arrives as an unshakable feeling, a vision that will not leave you. You see yourself somewhere you have never been. You feel drawn towards something without logical explanation. It may seem beyond your reach. But I tell you, if it were not meant for you, you would not see it. Desire is the language of the divine, the promise of what is already yours if you dare to claim it. And so, if you have felt this restlessness, if your world has been shaken, if a vision is pulling at your soul, do not shrink back in fear. Lift your head, for God is not taking something from you. He is preparing you for something far greater. Move forward in faith, knowing that the door is already open and the path is already made. The greatest transformations come not through force, but through surrender. Trust, believe, and step into the life that is waiting for you. When God moves in your life, He does not whisper politely at your door, hoping you'll notice. No, He shakes the very foundations of your being, calls forth the soul that has long slumbered, and demands that you rise into your true destiny. This is why the signs are unmistakable. They are not quiet suggestions, they are divine disruptions, preparing you for what is already yours. And yet, so many, when faced with these signs, resist. They see discomfort and call it misfortune. They see loss and call it punishment. They feel the pull of a new vision but label it impossible. But hear me. God never disturbs a life unless he intends to transform it. What you call uncertainty is simply the undoing of a lesser version of yourself, making way for the greater. That divine discontent gnawing at you, it is the voice of the Creator within, refusing to let you settle where you do not belong. You may try to ignore it, distract yourself, drown it out with the noise of the world, but it will not leave. It will grow louder, and the longer you resist, the more life will press upon you until you have no choice but to answer the call. And then, when the familiar begins to crumble, when relationships shift, when doors close, when the things you once leaned on begin to fall away, you may feel as though you are being abandoned. But you are not being abandoned. You are being redirected. When God is about to change your life, he removes every crutch, every false foundation, so that you stand fully in his plan. If you are clinging to what is leaving, let go. What is coming is greater. And oh, the final sign, that unshakable vision, that desire that will not leave you alone, it appears not as a random wish, but as a knowing, deep, undeniable, and persistent. It will not release you because it is not coming from you. It is coming through you. It is the future calling. It is your higher self remembering who you are. Do not ask if it is possible. It is already done in the mind of God. Your only task is to step forward in faith. So, I ask you now, will you heed the signs or will you resist them? Will you shrink back in fear or will you stand boldly and say, I am ready? Because the truth is this, life as you know it is already gone. What is left is your choice. Will you embrace what is coming? Will you allow yourself to become what you were always meant to be? This is your moment. Your destiny is unfolding, and all of heaven is waiting for you to take the first step. When God is about to change your life forever, he does not ask for your permission. He commands your awakening. And this awakening is not gentle. It is not convenient. It does not arrive wrapped in comfort. No, it shakes you to your core. It dismantles the illusions you have built. It breaks you open, not to destroy you, but to reveal you. You may wonder why everything feels uncertain, why the old ways no longer satisfy, why the things that once fit now feel foreign. It is because you are no longer who you were. You are no longer meant for the life you once lived. Your spirit has already moved ahead, and now the rest of you must follow. You see, transformation is not about waiting for things to change around you. It is about becoming the one who commands the change. The moment you realize this, truly realize it, your entire world shifts. Because God does not bring new life to those who insist on clinging to the old. He brings it to those who are willing to step into the unknown, with nothing but faith as their foundation. If your life is shaking, if doors are closing, if your heart is stirring, this is your confirmation. The very thing you are afraid to lose is the thing that is keeping you from what is greater. Do not beg for the past to return. It will not. Instead, stand in the awareness that what is coming is so much greater that you will one day thank God for everything that is leaving now. But hear me, you must act, not tomorrow, not when it is comfortable, not when it is easy, now. The moment of hesitation is the moment of delay, and heaven does not wait for those who refuse to move. There is a version of you, stronger, freer, wiser, waiting on the other side of your fear. There is a life, richer, fuller, beyond imagination, waiting for your arrival. There is a destiny, written in divine ink, that can only be lived by the one who dares to step forward. So the question is not whether God is changing your life. The question is whether you will surrender to it, whether you will embrace the signs, whether you will rise into what is already yours. For the kingdom of heaven is within you. The power to transform your life is not outside of you, it is within you. You were never meant to beg for blessings, you were meant to call them forth. You were never meant to wait for a miracle, you are the miracle. So arise, step forward, and watch as the heavens align in your favor, for the time is now and the change is already here. There comes a time when you must decide, will you remain as you have always been, or will you become what you were always meant to be? This is that time. You have seen the signs, you have felt the stirring, you know deep within that something is shifting. This is no accident, this is not a mere season, this is a divine appointment. You did not come into this life to live in hesitation. You did not come here to exist in cycles of doubt and delay. You came here to create, to transform, to become a living expression of the divine. And now, at this very moment, God is calling you to step forward. Feel it. The old life is crumbling, not as a loss, but as a release. What is breaking apart is only that which cannot come with you. And if it cannot come with you, it was never yours to keep. You are being stripped of limitation, cleansed of illusion, prepared for a life so abundant, so free, so extraordinary, that you cannot yet fully comprehend it. But here is the truth. You do not need to understand it. You only need to say yes. Yes to the calling. Yes to the discomfort of growth. Yes to the unknown where miracles are born. Because on the other side of that yes, everything shifts. The delays end, the doors open, the vision that once seemed distant suddenly begins to manifest before your eyes. But you must believe before you see. You must trust before it arrives. This is the test not of suffering, but of faith. Because God does not withhold. God does not tease. What is yours has already been given. The only thing that determines when it arrives is when you decide to claim it. So claim it. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for a sign greater than the one you have already received. This moment is the sign. This moment is the confirmation. This moment is heaven's whisper saying, move now, for everything you desire is waiting for you. So rise. Stand in your power. Step into the life that has been calling you. For you are not just on the brink of change, you are the change. And once you step forward, you will never look back. This is your time, the shift is here, and the life you were born for is waiting. You were never meant for smallness. You were never meant to live in lack, in fear, in hesitation. You were born to create, to expand, to rise. And everything that has happened up to this point, every struggle, every delay, every moment of uncertainty has not been working against you. It has been preparing you. Because God does not call the unprepared. He does not awaken those who are not ready. If you have felt the shift, if you have seen the signs, if you have been drawn into this very moment, it is because you are ready. Ready to release, ready to step forward, ready to receive. And yet, so many stand at the edge of their destiny and hesitate. They let their old fears speak louder than their new vision. They let their past define their future. They ask, what if I fail? When they should be asking, what if I succeed beyond my wildest imagination? And so I tell you now, there is no more waiting. The hesitation ends here. Because there is a force moving within you, a power greater than anything you have ever known. And the moment you surrender to it, the moment you stop fighting the change that is calling you, everything will unfold with divine precision. But surrender is not passive. It is not sitting back, hoping for a miracle. It is stepping forward with faith so unshakable that the very universe must bow in response. It is walking as if the promise is already fulfilled. It is speaking as if the miracle has already arrived. Because in truth it has. There is no time left for doubt, no room left for fear. You have been called, the transformation has begun, and there is no going back. So I ask you, will you rise? Will you step into the life that has been waiting for you? Will you trust that every closed door was a blessing? That every loss was a redirection? That every delay was divine timing moving on your behalf? Because the life that is coming, the life that is already yours, is beyond anything you have imagined. And the only thing standing between you and it is the decision to claim it. So claim it now, step into it now, walk boldly, speak boldly, believe boldly, for the heavens have already moved, the path has already been cleared, and your new life has already begun. This is your moment, this is your awakening, and from this day forward, nothing will ever be the same. You have been waiting, watching, wondering when the shift will happen. You have asked for signs, for confirmation, for proof that this transformation is real, and now here it is. Not in the form of a distant promise, not in the form of a future hope, but now, right here. This very moment is the threshold between the life you have known and the life that is calling you. What you feel stirring inside you is not just a passing thought. It is not a fleeting desire. It is the voice of the divine within you, the blueprint of your highest self, the memory of who you were always meant to be. And it will not be silent. It will not fade away. It will not stop calling you forward. But here is where many falter. They see the shift, they feel the signs, but they hesitate. They cling to the familiar, even as it crumbles beneath them. They mistake the breaking apart for destruction, when in truth it is the birth of something greater. Do you not see? The old is not being taken from you, it is being removed for you. The things that no longer serve you, the places you have outgrown, the limitations that have held you back, they are being cleared. Not as punishment, not as loss, but as preparation. Because the life that is waiting for you requires you to be free. Free from doubt, free from fear, free from the version of yourself that was never meant to last. And so the final question remains. Will you step forward? Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when every detail makes sense. Now. Because destiny does not wait for those who hesitate. The power is in this moment, in the decision you make now. You may not see the whole path, but that is not your concern. Your only task is to take the first step in faith, to trust that if you move, the way will be revealed, to believe so deeply, so completely, that heaven itself bends to the force of your certainty. And when you do, you will see what was always true. You were never stuck. You were never trapped. The doors were never locked. It was only your own hesitation that kept you in place. But now, the hesitation is gone. The waiting is over. The shift has already begun. So step forward, speak boldly, move with unwavering faith. For God has not just called you, He has chosen you. And everything you desire, everything you have prayed for, everything you have dreamed in the quiet of your soul, it is already done. This is your new beginning. The time is now. And from this moment on, nothing will ever be the same again. For too long you have danced on the edge of your destiny, 1 foot in the past, 1 foot in the future, hesitant to leap into the unknown. But hear me now. God does not work in hesitation. He does not move through the timid. He does not part seas for those who refuse to step into the water. If you have felt the shaking, if you have seen the signs, if you have known in the deepest part of your soul that change is upon you, then this is not a time to shrink back. This is a time to step boldly forward, to claim the life that has been calling you, to declare with unwavering certainty, I am ready. But readiness is not just a feeling. It is action. It is movement. It is the refusal to stay in a life that no longer fits. It is the courage to let go of what is safe, of what is familiar, of what is known, so that you can step into something greater. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Growth always does. The caterpillar does not transform into the butterfly without first dissolving into nothingness. The seed does not break open without the pressure of the soil. The old must die so the new can be born. And that is what is happening to you. The things that are falling apart are not happening to you, They are happening for you. The people who are leaving, the doors that are closing, the structures that are collapsing, it is all divine intervention, because the life God has prepared for you cannot be built on weak foundations. So do not mourn what is leaving, do not cling to what is being removed, instead rejoice, because what is coming is greater. What is coming is the manifestation of the vision that has been growing inside you. What is coming is the answer to the prayers you once whispered in the dark. But here is the truth. You must move before you see it. You must believe before it is tangible. This is the test. This is the moment where faith is not just a word, but a force, a power, an unshakable certainty that drives you forward. God has already set the stage, the opportunities have already been aligned, the miracles have already been released. The only thing left is you. Will you step into it? Will you stop waiting? Will you walk as if the promise is already fulfilled? Because that is the key, moving as if it is already done. Not begging, not hoping, not wondering, but knowing that heaven has already moved on your behalf, knowing that the doors are already open, knowing that the only thing left to do is walk through them. To walk, move, claim the life that is yours. For this is not just a shift, this is not just a season, this is your awakening. This is the moment when everything changes. And from this day forward, you will never be the same again. And so we arrive at the final moment, the point where decision meets destiny, where faith must rise above fear, where you stand face to face with the undeniable truth. You were never meant to remain where you are. The signs have been given. The stirring within you is not random. It is the divine call to something greater. The old life, the former version of you, is already fading. The only question that remains is, will you step forward? Because there comes a time when hesitation is no longer an option, a time when the waiting must end, a time when you must stop asking for another sign and start moving in faith. That time is now. This is not the end of something, it is the beginning of a life where you no longer chase after blessings, but walk in the certainty that they are already yours. A life where you no longer wait for opportunities, but create them. A life where you no longer shrink back, but step boldly into your divine calling. And so, take a deep breath and feel it. This is the moment of transformation. The door has been opened, the path has been cleared, and heaven is waiting for you to take the first step. Go now, not with fear, but with power, not with doubt, but with certainty, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. For God has already moved, the shift has already begun, and from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same again.
Consider for a moment the words you speak to yourself each day. You may perceive them as mere thoughts, fleeting and inconsequential. But I say unto you, these words are the very foundation of your reality. They are the seeds from which your entire life experience grows. And by carefully choosing and consistently speaking 9 specific things to yourself every day, you can transform your entire world. But what does it truly mean to tell yourself these 9 things every day? It is not a matter of mere repetition or positive thinking. It is a state of consciousness, a shift in your very being that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your inner dialogue, your self-talk, is the only reality, and that a profound shift in this inner conversation can and will transform your entire world. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, your concept of self. And this concept of self is shaped moment by moment by the things you tell yourself. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by carefully choosing and consistently telling yourself these 9 things every day, you are actively creating a new reality that will unfold in your experience. This understanding is crucial for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach life. No longer are you a helpless being at the mercy of external circumstances, hoping for favorable conditions. You become the active creator of your reality, knowing that as you assume these 9 statements as true in your inner dialogue, the universe must rearrange itself to match these inner assumptions. But how, you may ask, can these 9 daily statements have such a profound and lasting impact? The answer lies in the creative power of your wonderful human imagination, combined with the intensity of your feeling and belief. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker, and your feelings are not mere reactions to external stimuli. Together, they form the very workshop in which reality is forged. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and feel as true in your self-talk and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true in your inner dialogue. And once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality, regardless of how long it takes in clock time. So, when you consistently tell yourself these 9 things every day, when you fall asleep and awaken with these statements as your inner reality, you are not engaging in wishful thinking or self-deception. You are actively creating your new reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you and for you. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of how these 9 daily statements can change everything. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your reality lies within you, waiting to be expressed through your conscious inner dialogue. It is about understanding that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner conversations, which can be radically altered by consistently telling yourself these 9 things every day. Consider the biblical phrase, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." This is not a mere poetic expression or a vague spiritual concept. It is a statement of cosmic law, an invitation to recognize the power of your inner dialogue. When you truly embody these 9 statements in your daily self-talk, when you feel their reality with every fiber of your being, you are changed in that very moment. The outer manifestation may take time to catch up, but the inner transformation is instantaneous. But let me be clear, telling yourself these 9 things every day is not about forced repetition or strained affirmations. It is about a total immersion in the feeling of these statements being true. When you truly embody this practice, you naturally assume the thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations of the person who lives these 9 truths. You go to sleep and awaken not as the person you've always been, but as the person who embodies these 9 powerful statements. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine the first of our 9 statements is, "I am worthy of love and respect." For years, perhaps your inner dialogue has been filled with self-doubt and feelings of unworthiness. Now, imagine deciding to tell yourself this new truth every day. As you awaken each morning, as you go about your day, as you lay down to sleep at night, you immerse yourself in the feeling of being worthy of love and respect. You feel the confidence, the self-assurance, the inner peace of someone who knows their inherent worth. You allow this feeling of worthiness to permeate every cell of your being. You carry it with you throughout your day, into your interactions, into your work, into your relationships. When you do this consistently, something shifts. You may not see immediate external changes, but internally, you are no longer the same person. You have experienced the reality of being worthy of love and respect, and this new self-concept begins to reshape your outer world. In the days and weeks that follow, you find yourself naturally acting with more confidence and self-respect. You set healthy boundaries where you would have previously allowed others to take advantage. You pursue opportunities you would have once thought beyond your worth. And as you do so, your outer world begins to reflect this new inner state. People respond to you differently. Your entire life begins to transform. all stemming from consistently telling yourself this one powerful truth. This principle applies to each of the 9 things you tell yourself every day. Whether it's I am capable of achieving my goals, I am deserving of abundance, I am at peace with myself and the world, or any other powerful statement, the key is to immerse yourself in the feeling of it being true. Feel the reality of embodying each of these 9 truths. Carry them with you throughout your day, knowing that as you do so, you are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that must grow into your outer reality. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, can simply telling myself these 9 things every day really make such a difference? Surely lasting change requires more than just words. And to this I say words infused with feeling and belief of the very fabric of creation. In the realm of consciousness, where all creation takes place, there's only the eternal now. Consistently telling yourself these 9 things, feeling their truth, believing in their reality, can indeed reshape your entire future, for it plants seeds of new self-concepts that will inevitably grow into manifestation. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness, your inner dialogue, that gives life to your experiences. When you consistently tell yourself these 9 things every day, you are breathing life into a new reality. You are setting in motion a series of events that must culminate in the outer expression of these inner truths. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to how these 9 daily statements can change everything. It is about aligning your entire being with new concepts of self, recognizing that these new self-concepts are seeking expression through you, and allowing them to flow into your experience through the power of your focused inner dialogue and unwavering belief. But let me warn you, this practice of telling yourself these 9 things every day is not always an easy task. The old habits of negative self-talk, the familiar self-concepts you've held for so long, may try to reassert themselves. As you attempt to embody these new truths, doubts may creep in. The voice of your old self may try to convince you that these statements are lies, that you're fooling yourself. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to telling yourself the 9 truths. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want to be, but by persistently embodying what you do want to be. This persistence, this unwavering commitment to maintaining your new inner dialogue throughout each day, in the face of doubts and contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly transform your life. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away doubts and fears. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of these 9 truths, to align your entire consciousness with the person who embodies these statements. This tuning is done through your focused inner dialogue and your ability to generate and maintain the feeling of these truths. Your self-talk is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you consistently tell yourself these 9 things, as you feel the reality of being the person who embodies these truths, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, while the inner transformation can occur instantly as you begin this practice, the full manifestation in your outer world may take time. The seeds planted by consistently telling yourself these 9 things will grow, but they must go through their natural stages of development. Do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate, dramatic changes in your external circumstances. Know that the moment you succeeded in fully embodying these 9 truths in your inner dialogue, change became inevitable. As you persist in maintaining this new inner conversation in your daily life, you will find that your perception of yourself and your world begins to shift. What once seemed like limitations now appear as opportunities for growth. Challenges become stepping stones to greater achievements. You begin to see yourself as the empowered being you've been telling yourself you are. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I ensure that I maintain this practice of telling myself these 9 things every day? How can I prevent falling back into old patterns of negative self-talk? And to this I say, the power of this practice lies not just in the words themselves, but in the knowing it brings. As you consistently tell yourself these 9 things, you begin to experience their truth. This knowing becomes an anchor, a reference point to which you can always return in the days and weeks that follow as you begin this practice. You may face moments of doubt or challenge. In these moments, recall the feeling of embodying these 9 truths. Remember the reality of being the person who lives these statements. Let that memory, that knowing, guide you back to your new state of being. For having experienced it once, you can experience it again and again, each time strengthening your new self-concept. The key is to make your experience of these 9 daily statements as real and vivid as possible. Engage all your senses. As you tell yourself these truths, see yourself as a person who embodies them. Hear the inner voice speaking these words with conviction. Feel the confidence, the joy, the fulfillment of being this version of yourself. Make it so real that your rational mind cannot distinguish between this inner experience and physical reality. But here's the crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to mechanically repeat these 9 things without feeling or belief. The goal is to embody the essence of these statements, to feel their truth in every fiber of your being. For it is this state of being that is the true attractor of your experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. One of our 9 daily statements might be, I am abundant in all areas of my life. Instead of merely repeating this phrase, immerse yourself in the feeling of abundance. Feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with this state of abundance. See yourself making choices from a place of plenty rather than scarcity. Hear yourself speaking words of generosity and gratitude. Allow this feeling of abundance to color every aspect of your day. By focusing on the state of being that these 9 statements represent, rather than just the words themselves, you allow the universe to bring your desires to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of telling yourself these 9 things every day. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something against all evidence. It's about aligning your entire being with the truth of your divine nature, your oneness with the creative power of the universe. It's about spending each day fully embodying the highest vision of who you truly are. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps you start to feel more confident and empowered. Or you find yourself naturally making choices that align with your new self-concept. Or opportunities for growth and achievement seem to appear out of nowhere. These are all signs that your inner transformation initiated by your new daily self-talk is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your new inner dialogue is taking root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to tell yourself these 9 powerful truths every day. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. You may find yourself naturally attracting experiences that align with your new self-concept. You may notice that your relationships improve dramatically, that your career takes off in unexpected ways, that you achieve goals you once thought impossible. And as you continue to maintain the inner dialogue you've cultivated through these 9 daily statements, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure of ever-expanding possibilities. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the ultimate goal. The goal is the state of being from which all desired experiences naturally flow. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you've truly transformed your inner dialogue through these 9 daily statements, when you're fully living from this new state of being, you no longer need external circumstances to confirm your worth or your truth. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that you are the person these 9 statements describe. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life that reflects your ideal self-concept. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to bring about change? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you've cultivated a powerful inner dialogue through these 9 daily statements, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. They will be the natural outgrowth of your new state of being. This is the difference between trying to make change happen and allowing it to happen. When you're trying to force change, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you've truly embodied these 9 daily truths in your inner dialogue, actions flow naturally from your aligned state, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly how to bring about the manifestation of your desires. Consider the example of a mighty oak tree growing from a tiny acorn. The acorn doesn't strain to become a tree. It doesn't force itself to grow. It simply unfolds naturally, expressing its innate potential. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you cultivate a powerful inner dialogue through these 9 daily statements, you allow your highest potential to unfold naturally and beautifully, expressing the infinite possibilities that are your birthright. But let me be clear, the state of allowing is not passive. It requires an active engagement with your inner world, a deliberate and focused cultivation of your inner dialogue. It requires faith. Not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your consciousness and your ability to shape your reality through yourself. This faith is not about believing the change will come someday in the future. It's about knowing that the change is occurring now with every repetition of these 9 daily statements, and that your outer world must inevitably conform to this new inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in telling yourself these 9 things every day, you'll begin to see evidence of your transformation manifesting in your outer world. And these signs may start small. A newfound confidence in a situation that would have previously intimidated you. A flash of insight that leads to a breakthrough. An unexpected opportunity that aligns perfectly with your new self-concept. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner transformation initiated by your new daily self-talk is indeed shaping your outer reality. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of the life you're creating through your inner dialogue. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching about the power of daily self-talk. Many worry that focusing on these 9 statements might somehow make them self-centered or disconnected from others. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you truly understand the principle of shaping your reality through your inner dialogue, you realize that you are not separate from others. As you elevate your own consciousness through your self-talk, you are elevating the consciousness of all. Your personal transformation, far from disconnecting you from others, actually expands the field of possibilities for all. Moreover, when you are coming from a place of embodying these 9 powerful truths, you naturally have more to give to others. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example of the power of consciousness to reshape reality. Your transformation creates a ripple effect, touching the lives of everyone you encounter with your newfound energy, confidence, and joy. This is the true gift of telling yourself these 9 things every day. It's not just about improving your individual circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental nature of the universe, which is boundless potential and perpetual creation. It's about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment, of living from the truths you've cultivated through your daily self-talk, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from your transformed state of being. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness when it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the power. You are the magic. You are the one who has transformed yourself through these 9 daily statements. As we draw our time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, 9 things to tell yourself every day, is not just a technique for personal development. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine, creative being. It's about aligning your entire being with the fundamental truth of who you are and allowing your grandest expression to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place, filled with infinite possibilities. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling against external forces. Instead, you recognize yourself as the author of your own life story, the creator of your own thriving reality. In this state, there's no need to fear the future or doubt your ability to create the life you desire. For you understand that you are the source of all creation in your experience. Your job is simply to maintain this powerful inner dialogue, to live from that transformed consciousness, and to allow the universe to arrange the details of its manifestation. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Use your mighty imagination to infuse these 9 daily statements with feeling and belief. Feel the naturalness of being the empowered divine being you truly are. Live from this state, persist in this knowing, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your inner transformation. Remember, you are not a limited being struggling to improve. You are the infinite consciousness, choosing to experience growth and transformation from this particular vantage point. Your daily self-talk is the tool through which you shape your experience. Use it wisely, with the awareness of your true nature and the responsibility that comes with it. Go forth and create the fulfilling, joyous life that is your birthright, knowing that with each repetition of these 9 daily statements, you are aligning more fully with the truth of your divine, limitless nature. Finally, I encourage you to approach this practice with joy and anticipation, for you are not forcing change, but allowing your true self to emerge. You are not becoming someone new, but remembering who you have always been beneath the layers of limiting beliefs and old habits. In these 9 daily statements, you reclaim your divine birthright and step into the fullness of your being. And truly, as you consistently tell yourself these 9 things every day, you will never be the same again.